we spoke a bit about religion right now. I want to ask you, like, what do you think happens when we die?
For a large part of my life, I've believed nothing. I haven't believed in the afterlife or heaven and hell and everything. Like, I grew up as my parents raised me as a Muslim for a good few years, and then I don't want to place blame or anything, but like I grew up in a quite atheist British society, and no, God's, everyone's saying it casually, God's not real, look, science, Big Bang Theory, oh, religion's bad, oh, Muslim's bad, look, Muslim terrorists.
It's almost like you're treated as if you're dumb if you're religious. Like,
yeah,
you not know science, you know what I mean? Like,
the tide is turning, honestly. Like, this is a huge respect to Andrew Tate, honestly. The tide's turning because he added a lot more respect to religion, because before, just a few years ago, religion, especially Islam, was almost like widely seen as a bad thing in the Western world. Terrorists, bad people, immigrants, all this stuff. And I grew up seeing this stuff on the news, that, oh, immigration, look, lots of brown people, bad thing. What are we going to do about the immigration problem? What are we going to do about the terrorists? Look, terrorist, bad thing. Terrorist attack rises. I've been attacked multiple times. Always after terrorist attacks, hate crime in the UK goes up by 300%. Seriously, 300 to 500%. I've been attacked. I've been almost stabbed by guys being racist, thinking that I'm like this Muslim terrorist bomber or something. And so obviously that's always made me think, okay, Muslim religion bad.
Disassociate,
Do you know what I mean? So no, I'm an atheist, guys. Do you know what I mean? So I've pushed away from faith and religion for a very long time in my life, and now you've seen it. It's like I have this huge respect for the men.
Yeah, you have the Quran on top of your setup, which I've seen. Yeah, you try to read it as much as you can.
Yeah, it's a very slow process, because I don't, like, a lot of people have asked me. I've made videos last year about, I'm considering religion, and a lot of guys come to me and say, why don't you just become a Muslim? And what are you waiting for? And stuff. But I always to me, that seems very disrespectful. Up until I've read the entire book and I've spoke to 100 religious guys, bro, this is a lifelong commitment. The fact that I haven't told you that I'm a Muslim yet, like, I'm still technically an atheist. The fact that I haven't, I think, shows a lot more respect for the religion than if I just said straight away, oh, guys, I'm a Muslim now.
Yeah, because you're treating it seriously. Yeah.
It might be a few solid years before I do it, because I know that the moment I say to myself, okay, I'm Muslim now, I have to die as a Muslim.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to not be a Muslim 5 years.
You're not gonna half-ass it.
There's 100,000 arguments in my mind that need to be processed first.
Yeah, and that's fair. I don't think people should follow things blindly. And I was telling you this last night. I don't know. I was like, basically, the way I look at it, sometimes I talk to some of my atheist friends, or basically friends that are just not so religious as me, and I tell them, like, let's assume, for argument's sake, God doesn't exist. Let's just say, for argument's sake, there's no God. I tell them, why would you still not lead a life where, like, if something bad ever happened to you, you always felt like there was a higher power out there that was kind of like looking out for you, and if something good happened, you can always be grateful, and just in general, just feeling like something's going to happen after you die, because otherwise it's just nihilism. You're just, the moment you're born, you're just waiting till you die. So I think having that belief in a God will just help you, and it's not like God's telling you anything that God tells you not to do is usually bad for you. And there's nothing that God tells you not to do which is good for you. And there's nothing which he tells you to do which is bad for you. Mm-hmm. So it's basically just being a good person and, doing things, a lot of things like you preach, delayed gratification. And because basically, if you think about the whole religion is basically one big delayed gratification. Because you're just waiting for heaven.
Yeah, literally. I realized this once, and I was like, whoa. Like,
that's one huge delayed gratification.
The concept of heven is literally the ultimate delayed gratification. Like what I spoke about before, the pain, the pleasure of the bad habit, and then you go below baseline. But the opposite version of that is the pain of a good habit, like exercise or being kind or whatever. There's some level of pain and discomfort to that. But then afterwards, it's like the pleasure and the happiness goes up. We delay gratification for our future selves when we put in some hard work. Exactly. Well, heaven is the ultimate delayed gratification. Heaven is the ultimate, like, sacrifice of today for tomorrow's benefit. When you tell someone, okay, follow these things that will be good for your life, especially because once you pass away, you will get into, like, the good version of reality.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're not religious, then you're just like you don't feel like there's any reason you should really be a good person, because there's no accountability. You can do something behind the scenes. You might think you might get away with it, but if you believe like that, no, like when I die, I'm going to be questioned about the actions I did. I have to be careful. I have to move intentionally,